Happy Monday, everybody! Happy for some, very unhappy for others. Yo, holla at your boy, Tyler Oliveira, but he ain't the only one making videos. I saw some, oh, dude, I'm so sorry about this. I gotta do the whole. Actually, I'm just gonna look it up, and as I look it up, so I saw this like lady who was also talking about the invasion of the Indians in Texas. Oh my goodness! Everywhere they're getting exposed and shit. Who made the video? Who made the video? Because it wasn't just. Maybe I didn't watch it. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. So Tyler isn't the only one talking about this, and shit, I didn't actually watch it. Yeah, Tyler's video. Shit, I just like put my pointer over it, scrolled over it, and looked at it. I just couldn't stand the secondhand embarrassment. My Guyanese self couldn't handle the secondhand embarrassment. The king, the true king, Tyler, the true T. The Tyler man, like yo, he's just blowing up, man. Like he on his channel, by the way. Go by the way, if you're a viewer of my channel, a subscriber, please don't be a subscriber. Use a VPN. Don't let the government track you, cause like yo, the government's after me because I've become fucking famous, dude. But I'll get into that in a second. So back to Tyler. Go sign up to Tyler Oliveira's channel. He got banned off of YouTube because of dark Jews. By the way, Jimmy Dore, and like you could be skeptical about like whether or not this is genuine because I'm pretty skeptical about it because the guy, you know, he worked with Cenk Uygur. So like, is this propaganda against the Jewish people? Is this like, you know, really the dark Jews, plural, or is it just like, you know, one, you know, Jewish family or like a bunch of Jewish people trying to like evict some black people out of their houses in New York and shit, going up to them? We have the deed. You know what the worst part about it is, and this is why I think it's like, you know, it's bullshit. Because like if you actually know Orthodox Jewish people, like you don't actually see them wearing, you know, like excessive jewelry, like you know, really fancy shit. The guy has on like what do you call it? Yves Saint Laurent. You know how you butchered that name? You know the T silent. Aren't you Canadian? He's wearing that like you know French designer belt and shit. So that's like say it's bullshit, but like you know Jimmy Dore's exposing the dark Jews in New York, trying to like evict out some of these guys. So these black people, black families and stuff. Yeah, this is the name of the video. Israelis now stealing homes from black Americans in New York City! Exclamation mark. The Jimmy Dore show. I was about to say the Demi Jor show. Demi Jor. Yeah, man, the fall of false kings, guy. This is what this video is about. 25 fucking minutes of yo listen to my fucking you know nonsensical ramblings and shit. You know because, dude, I have become famous. That's right, me of all people. I'm famous. I'm a famous person now. I'm grateful that like at the very least the people who are like my ops are you know at least following my advice to jump on that VPN and be like, you know, not trying to give me any of that channel traffic and shit. Because the second the governments and like, you know, any higher power sees my shit, Peter Thiel, any like, you know, Google execs, Microsoft especially, who else, who else, who else? Any pro pedophile like, you know, supporter and shit. Basically any politician coming out of the UK who isn't part of the Free UK movement. That very much includes Nigel Farage. Yes, I will throw down and say Nigel Farage. The fall of false kings. So let's go into the first false king. And I was the one who called this man a bitch. I want to like you know take credit for you know calling him out, King Charles, aka King Bitch. because everybody else is calling him a bitch, is, you know, not just calling him a bitch, they're finding out that he is a bitch. He's actually a bitch. Real fucking certified, you know, child raping ass bitch. Most likely the reason why Princess Diana died. For real. So he can, like, you know, have sex with ugly ass Brit woman with, like, you know, whatever. She probably made like good tea or something. It was like, yo, what kind of a fucking scumbag do you have to be to, like, you know, cheat upon your wife and shit? With, like, you know, who already has two kids. But people be like, oh, she cheated too. I was like, oh, whatever, dude. This is like, you know, how you know, like, you know, the UK has fallen when people take the sides of the paparazzos and shit. London has fallen. Happy Easter Monday. But guess who's not going to say that to you? The King of England. He's too busy wishing, like, yo, the child fuckers, yo, happy Ramadan and shit. You know, like, yo, and they had some, like, politician trying to run up wearing a niqab. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how much, like, how are you selling yourself on this level of retardation where you don't think you know what the younger generations are like? And even I, as, like, you know, I guess you can call me a middle-aged man and shit, could, like, look at that kind of behavior and say, well, like, yeah, maybe tone it down just a little bit, but then I'm like in fear of me, like, incurring the wrath of the younger generation. So we're talking about, you know, I need a TikTok account. I need to be on the internet all the time. I need to have a tablet or a phone or whatever. I need to have a multiple social media accounts. I have to, you know, do the things that, like, normal ass kids do. And I mean, like, again, I am very afraid of raising children due to this reason and others like it, because it's almost um prolific in a way how, even though you can say that, like, discipline at a young age is, like, you would think at that time it was, like, excessive, but, like, when you see the complete lack of it, like, you know, you get, like, the UK, you get, like, King Charles, his brother, you know, dealing little ass kids and shit. He doesn't want to, like, wish the people of the UK, you know, happy Easter, because he's too busy wishing, you know, the Muslims happy Ramadan, and it's blatantly obvious and clear what's going on around the world. His brother got pinched for, you know, these pedophile charges and shit. That's, like, coming out that this guy's, like, you know, pretending that, like, you know, Islam is, like, an integral part of the European identity and culture, and it's like, okay, bitch, okay, bitch, whatever you say, fuckface. You and your fucking retard ass brother. Like, that's so sad how, like, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth, like, the best of her offspring, were, like, basically turned into liberal cucktards, and, like, the others were just, like, pedophiles and shit. Like, that is the legacy of, like, you know, when you think to yourself, right? And, like, people oftentimes would tarnish and bash Queen Elizabeth II's reign and stuff. You know, she was one of the best, in my opinion, monarchs, because she kept order and discipline, and, like, you know, lived through, like, some of the worst of it, World War II, you know, all the while, you know, her son has been partying it up with, like, Jeffrey Epstein and shit, with, like, fucking photos. Ugh. Ah, oh my god. And, like, when you think about it, like, this, right? There was nothing that these people could have wanted when they were kids. Maybe some privacy, if you will, like a normal, air quotes, life. But then when we're talking about, like, you know, money, you have a fucking golden toilet in your palace and shit. Like, you live in a level of excess that most people will, like, to just turn their noses up at it. And the whole world's being exposed to, like, the reason why the UK has fallen is because they don't have a king. They have a pedophile supporter. That's You know, there's no denying it. Just it is what it is. There's like stories coming out of like Rome of all places. And they were fucking around in Italy for like a long ass time. I made like a quick comment on like that one tragic story of the newlyweds that were just trying to fool around in their car, and then they got assaulted by like a bunch of like migrant men. From what religion? You don't even have to like ask. You don't even have to ask at this point. Like I think the only time I got it wrong was those Scottish girls who were being attacked. Those were like some Romanian pimps and shit. It was just like some weird ass fucked up shit where they're trying to like kiss the girls and stuff, and then they try to like frame them. This is like why you need like literal castration, not just chemical, but like literal castration. Like the death penalty is the death penalty. Jail time is just like a waste of money to the taxpayers overall. And I think like the best justice for people like this is castration, because you can't have, you know, adults having sex with children. You just can't have that. And even though like a lot of these sick leftists beat off to it, like they want to like humanize, normalize, like they call them MAPS, minor attracted people, more like minor attracted pedophiles. Oh, fucking losers, dude. And like the entirety of the UK has fallen as a result of this. Like there is no coming back from it. Like there now we know why we have not only the case of Bonnie Blue, but the guys lining up to have sex with a woman like Bonnie Blue, because there are there are some men in the UK, but they are the minority. That's the reality of it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. And even though like you might say that I'm being sexist for not bringing up like whether or not women are there, of course women are there. They're getting raped. Come on. Like what do you want me to say? That like okay, you're gonna stand up to like groups of men with no identification, like the laws on the books are just like treating them with kid gloves and shit. This is why you know as a real man, you should get out there and remember that the children of the weak are meant to be replaced. Otherwise, the human race suffers, endlessly. So women will allow you. Obviously, you have to be punctual about this. You have to be, forward, open, even like accepting to the fact that like as women are the progenitors of the human race, they most likely can and will say no to you, and don't take it personally. Like it's not um, whether or not your genes are good enough or whatever. It's more like a personal thing, because some women just can't handle like having the separation anxiety, or you're with her and she has kids with you and I also have kids with you. Like what does that do with us? Like I don't think like it's a very like capable thing that people can endure. Like a lot of people, like you have to be strong spirited, you have to have strong will, you have to have an open mind, and you have to understand that like yeah, I could argue that maybe me losing my virginity and then like subsequently having kids with another woman wouldn't make it as bad as like let's say a guy who's very sexually experienced and then like he's doing it for the pleasure, obviously. Like that's the obvious like cop out, right? And then that like running back to my excuse would be my explanation. But I understand that like it is one of those things that even though it is necessary, we all see how it's going to play out, the ramifications. Like people are going to get upset, people's parents are going to get upset. Like I don't really want to do it, but then at the same time I see like I just see the world around me, and I don't think that it is as bad as you think it is, because we gotta talk about why I'm so famous. You know what I mean? Ah, on YouTube, when you say someone's name, they have this thing where like when you check the comments, I think they took it out. They used to have it. I don't know. Maybe let me check one of my older videos. And then when you say somebody's name, it does like a slide of like all these famous people and stuff. So I was saying Arnold Schwarzenegger. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. You see Sylvester Stallone. You see like everybody. I'm just like Chuck Norris. Everybody. I'm like bringing up in my videos and stuff. And yeah, shout outs to Andrew Tate for like lurking, lurking in my videos. Because this guy for the past week has basically been saying every single thing I've been telling you, except he's bringing up his whole like money bullshit scheme and how like you were supposed to lose money. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, it wasn't a rug pull. You weren't fleecing these people. This was like gonna help make you and your fucking entire fan base rich. F boys, man. F boys. The fuck boys, yo. But and he's tripping out hard because like the thing that he copies from me, like and I'm telling you, it's basically common sense, and maybe you need like a different perspective to something that you already know, like something that you've been told in parallel, basically. So like maybe your dad or your older brother or your cousin or some other male figure, gym teacher, whatever, coach, told you about this, taught you this, and I'm just telling you this again, and it's just like you're not really learning anything new, but it's like, okay, maybe this detail, this stipulation that I'm bringing up is a little bit more important. Like your coach isn't going to tell you to sacrifice working out and give up a percentage of your life to become stronger. So what I mean by this is you're going to hit your anabolic phase, right? Where your body's going to be burning up a bunch of calories. And you're going to know this as a guy when you go to the bathroom, yeah, it's going to be terrible, right? But I mean, you're going through something like, a couple thousand calories a day, 5,000 plus, ideally, if you're lifting heavy, right? If you're not lifting heavy, like you don't want to like front load yourself with too many calories or carbs because it's just gonna bloat you out and then you're fucking, you gotta burn that shit off like gradually, depending on your body type. Like for me, like when I get fat like that, I tend to keep it for a while, right? So you're gonna do that for a while, and then eventually you're gonna get cut. You're gonna get like the muscles that you want, and you're gonna look absolutely like just super attractive to the opposite gender. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like they're just gonna be like looking at you. They're gonna feel like happy around you. They're gonna look at your flat stomach, your chest, blah blah blah. Right? If you've already went through this, like you already know what I'm talking about. But like what I'm getting at is then you stay at that stage, like you don't go skinny fuckboy. You still lift heavy. You still do enough cardio to stay cut if you're like again front loading too many calories, too many carbs, right? Because you still need to do that no matter what. Like you can't cut carbs, you can't cut calories. Don't listen to anybody out there who says that like you can just eat pure protein and stuff and just like magically like form muscles. And this is why I call these people subhuman, because you know for a fact that they have this strength but they don't have like the actual discipline. Like you see Andrew Tate in the ring, he doesn't actually have the discipline of the body that he basically faked out, right? So he's gonna jump on gear, other fuck boys are gonna jump on gear, but you gotta like ask yourself, right, if being a man is necessary, then you should be ready for that sacrifice. And I'm not talking about the bullshit sacrifice and the pain that Andrew Tate always needs to feel because he's not happy with his money, but he is sometimes, but other times he isn't. He's like some fucking bipolar bitch. Yo, man, the fall of false kings, dude. And like all the people who looked up to him, all the fuckboys who looked up to him by proxy and shit. Yeah, man. This entire fucking, movement and shit. Chin checking everybody, The fall of the false kings. Yeah. I think like the writing was on the wall when America rescued their prisoners, because like this was the biggest fear, mine included, was that this war was going to be this prolonged war that was just going to constantly, play out year after year, claiming the lives of countless people. The Iranian people are suppressed in their populations, like, dwindling. Like you get these videos from like this Iranian guy who's like sending out videos, and Asmongold is like sharing it, watching it, commenting and reviewing it and stuff, right? This guy's like, yeah, airstrikes, just blew up my windows and shit. Cracked my walls. I got a broken leg. Most like he got a concussion because he was like getting dizzy and stuff. He couldn't like stand up, so he probably got a concussion from just like whatever. Like the shit is getting real. Well, it is real for them because they gotta live it, right? And we're all worried that that like the rest of the world is just trivializing their suffering, basically. Like, okay, you have to deal with like a totalitarian regime that's murdering your people en masse. Go fuck yourself, basically. And like it's like the total reverse of how the Palestinians were treated when you think about it. Like the Palestinians, well, Hamas started the war, basically took them back to their people. Their people were cheering them on and stuff. And I'm not gonna say 100% of the Palestinians were for the October 7th attack, but like a sizable population of the entire Islamic world was cheering and celebrating the basic rape and slaughter of women, children, elderly, families, pets. And like, it like materializes with like, the hatred of dogs, the raping of cats, the raping of children, gang raping, grooming gangs, they're finding out that like all around the world people are hating them and like, visibly agitated by the fact that they want to continue this. They want to provade over like humanity, like they have sway or power, and like someone's gotta tell them. And I guess I gotta be the person to tell them like they're retarded. They were born of inbreds. They were born of weak men who raped women. Therefore, like they're overriding natural selection. So there was no natural selection. It was very unnatural selection, if you will. It was the decay of evolution, and this subspecies, this subhuman class, has honestly like reached its breaking point to the point where I think it's undeniable now. Like you're not evil for listening to me and wanting to replace the human race with better, humans, children, people, a religion that does not suppress the human race. Basically, like, use people as de facto concubines and, like, warrior slaves and, suicide bombers. Like, this nonsense really has to stop, and we have to understand the reason why it happens. I have a theory, okay? The reason why they all go after someone else's kid is because it hurts them. These people have been really hurt by women, other people in their lives, and hurting somebody else's kid is their way of getting back at people. Like, this is like, it's a, I guess because I have a younger sister, but we're so close in age, I don't have that capability, if you will, because it's an impossibility for me, I guess, physically. I mean, my sister doesn't live with me anymore, but like, you know what I mean, right? Like, and I guess that differentiation between like, people who understand the biological reality that even though male and female are separate genders, we're still all human beings at the end of the day. And the fact that you want to use somebody else's child as your personal whatever. The fall of false kings. The fall of these weak men. Trying to plagiarize my words and turn it against me? You fucking fuck boys. Alright, take it easy.